So we're going to look at the atoms. We're going to figure out what some of the terminology is about the atom, and we are going to figure out the charges of different parts of the atom. So you should begin by knowing that all atoms are inherently neutral. It's when you're just looking at the atom, it's neutral. So that means that the positive protons equal the number of negative electrons. So in all of these pictures, we have this little purple area, and that's supposed to represent the nucleus. And we have 13 plus, which represents 13 protons. And if you want to put a little p beside it, if that helps, you can put a little p in there. And remember, the other thing that's in the nucleus are our neutrons. And this one happens to have 14 neutrons. The neutrons tend to stay kind of in the range of the protons, but they don't always come out the same. And it's okay that they don't. Remember that they're neutral, but if you want to put it in there, you can. So we're going to write the number of electrons in and include a negative sign. And remember that we are making them neutral. So if there are 13 protons, there should be 13 electrons. If there are 24 protons, there should be 24 electrons. If there are 55 protons, there should be 55 electrons. If there are 9 protons, there should be 9 electrons. So that all makes pretty good sense, probably for everyone. There's other information that we know, though, about the periodic chart. So I'm going to pull a periodic chart over in just a moment. But the first thing we know is the atomic number. So the atomic number right here is actually the same as the number of protons. So if we know something is 13 protons, it means its atomic number is 13. This is how we identify our elements, the number of protons. So let's go through and identify these elements. I happen to have a periodic chart saved over here. Well, I did. I'm going to bring it over. And we can see right where we are is we need something that has 13 protons. So if we look over here, we're looking for a big number that's 13. Now, on other periodic charts, you will see a different number on there. So maybe, let me see if I can find one over here, just to show that there are other numbers on the periodic chart. Not that one. You'll find, if you Google periodic chart, you'll find like all kinds of different things on there. But on this periodic chart, if you zoom in, there are 2 numbers. It's a little blurry, but there's a 25 that's really big for this MN, and then there's 54.936. So there are 2 kinds of numbers on the chart. There is the whole number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those numbers. And then there's these numbers that have decimals. So if we're talking about protons, we keep talking about atoms. You can't have part of a proton. You can't have just like half a proton, it still be a proton. So if you're trying to figure out which of the numbers is the proton, it's the whole number because you can't have half a proton. So we're going to look up the number of protons. So we're looking for the number 13. So if we zoom in over here, you can see that this guy is aluminum. I'm going to zoom over. I'm going to find the guy. We're going to look for something that's 24. Look, chromium. Look for 55. So that means it starts back over. If you play with this a little bit, you'll see how the numbering works. So this is cesium. And then lastly, we've got 9, which is fluorine right over here. We're using these same elements like in the other pages. So if you want really quick to go ahead and go to the other spots and fill in what the elements are, that could be helpful. And I'll be doing that when I close this. The other thing you get from looking at an atom like this is something called the mass number. Now, this is not on the periodic chart. Not on chart. Atomic number is, but this is not. It's really easy though. It's just what you get when you add the protons and the neutrons. So it's the sum of the number of protons and neutrons. So this might be kind of easy if we just kind of draw a little line there. And we add those up, we get 27 is the mass number. Then we go over to this one. Again, like if you kind of draw a line there, 2, carry the 1 is 52 is the mass number. And go over here, kind of draw a line. We get 133 is the mass number. And then over here, 9 and 7, 17 is the mass number. And we do a little more with these pictures. Don't forget to go ahead and label the atoms that appear on the next pages with what they are. It's the same.